Ella, thank you so much for talking to me.
Thank you for talking to me.
What's happened to your shoulder, first of all?
Oh, I fell up the stairs, as you do, and just done something to it, but I think it's going to be fine
You
tomorrow.
fell up the stairs?
Yeah, I'm a faller up the stairs. It does happen to me, probably more than regular people. Don't you fall up the stairs? I fell up the stairs and just totally munted my laptop. a couple
Really?
months ago. I do it all the time.
You did this last night?
No, I did my laptop. That was a separate fall upstairs. There are a few. They happen with some frequency.
Do you run up the stairs? Is that what this
Yeah, it
problem
was
is?
probably a bit of a charge. It's a blur. I can't remember.
So, welcome back to New Zealand.
Thank you.
And you're here specifically for your sister's graduation?
Yeah, I'm here for my sister's graduation. A few family members were having birthdays and stuff, so I was like, I gotta come back. But it was amazing watching her graduate. It's amazing, all those kids. You're like, oh my goodness. For me, I was like, all of these upstanding young citizens going out into the world. I was like very aware of being a high school dropout, you know, like they're amazing. They've just like done all this work and and then they're wearing the fancy hats. It was very cool.
Do you feel like a high school dropout?
I mean, sometimes I do want to, pick traditional learning back up because I think, with a profession like mine, you are learning all the time, but it's much more kind of lateral. It's much more abstract. I feel like at some point I'm really going to crave sitting down and taking a test, and studying for a test. I feel like that kind of learning process will come back, I'll come back around to wanting that again. So
You're just on like hiatus from education at the moment, basically.
well, I am learning a lot, and I'm learning a lot about, like with this record, I learned so much about production mainly. I'm a producer on every song on the album, and that was something that I took super seriously. And then, when you're doing something like building a live show, we did Coachella, and I had to build this whole show from scratch. So you really, you do have to learn a lot about lighting design and, set design and directing the video content for so people can, see everything on stage and it communicates in a legible way. All that kind of stuff I feel like that's the kind of education that I get day to day, but it's more abstract as opposed to, take the test.
Yeah, rote learning, like institutional learning.
Yeah.
It's been 4 years since Pure Heroine.
Yeah.
How different overall will Melodrama sound to Pure Heroine? Or what is the difference between the two albums?
I don't know if I know, because I think for me, I just always think that my music sounds like me at that moment, I think it's the kind of thing that only an outsider can really tell you, oh, this is super different, or it's not that different. I think that there are threads running through it that will always run through my music. Obviously my voice is so much, it's so central to the music that I make, and playing around with different ways to use my voice and different things to do vocally was a big part of this record. But there are, the melodic DNA of the record, it has grown, it has shifted, but there are also moments where I'm like, oh, that's just classic Pure Heroine, melody style, because I am, I'm the same person who wrote that record. It's just been a couple years. But I think that it's a really nice kind of continuation of the story. I think Pure Heroine was like, this is what it is right now, and Melodrama is like, a couple years have passed, let's catch you up on what we've been doing, So, yeah, I think hopefully people will see it as a really clear kind of next step for me.
I guess the last time you released an album, you were, and I think you've described yourself as a sort of a gothy, Doc Martin wearing angsty 16-year-old.
Totally, yeah.
So
Classic
you've obviously
16.
You've obviously come a long way since then. What do you think are some of the things that changed you the most over those 4 years? Some moments of your life?
I don't know. I think there is just like a lot of natural change that happens between 16 and 20. I think that being in the industry that I'm in and having to kind of I really do have to run a business. So a lot of that, I think, grows you up. You have to sit in these meetings and conduct yourself and, understand how to lead a room. I think all of that stuff, is probably stuff that comes more naturally to me now than when I was like literally in high school. But also I think, I don't know, I find emotionally things happen all the time that change me, whether it's, I don't know, something like moving out of home or working with a new, a colleague or a new songwriter, like I did with Jack Antonoff. That was a big process of growing for me, or going through a breakup. They're all things that every time something like that happens, you learn and you grow, and I think that's all that stuff contributes to where I am now.
The breakup thing, I know personally it can have a huge effect on your life, right? Mm-hmm. So to what extent did that influence some of the songs on the new album? And how did it influence the songs?
I mean, the record is very much like, to me, it's sort of about everything that happened after that happening. So it's not really a breakup record at all, so to speak. To me, it's very much a record about the kind of magic of being alone. I was literally, I moved out of my parents' house and I was living alone for the first time and really having the space to kind of process how I was feeling. And I always see the record as this house with all of these, feelings and conversations and actions happening inside of it. So,
did you feel, I mean, it's probably an obvious question, but after something like that, you must feel alone. And as you said, you were moving out into your own place, a lot of change happening for you. Did you feel quite lonely in that time?
I don't know if I felt directly lonely, in the wake of it. I think that it was more something that would kind of hit me afterward in the coming months and the coming year. I don't think that the process of getting over something like that is always linear. Sometimes you go through a breakup and you're like, sick, let's go out, and you do that for a few months, and then you're like, wait, actually I have this thing to process, so it it would happen in weird stages, but yeah.
Congratulations on the album. You've finished it now completely, right?
It's done.
It's done.
Yeah.
Took a long time, right?
Took a minute, yeah.
Does it feel, are you feeling anxious about it coming out? Are you feeling nervous, more so than the last one?
I don't think more so than the last one, because I had so little expectation with the last one. You have no idea with your first record that it could ever do as well as Pure Heroine did. It was just not something I even entertained. So I guess now there is an element of, oh God, am I gonna, is it gonna follow up? Are people gonna respond to it in the same way? But I think it's super cool. I'm super proud of it. I think I know that as a fan, if I was a fan of me, I would be psyched to press play on that record for the first time, and I would really feel like I was being given this rich, kind of dense, lush, document full of, secrets and confessions, and, there's a lot of discovery, I think, to this record. It's not a one listen, and I think, that's kind of what we set out to do, is just to give people this wonderful thing to get their teeth into after a couple of years. So from that perspective, I'm pumped about it coming out, and I'm not too nervous. And I think we've done, I've done the best I can for this moment. And, every record you make is about wanting to, undo the mistakes of the last record, or, do things better than you did last time. And I'll always continue to do that. But for right now, I think this one is super cool.
You said, if I was a fan of myself.
Yeah.
Are you a fan of yourself? Are you a fan of your own music? Do you turn it on in the car when you drive
No,
around?
oh my God, no, you could never. Because you're just it's the whole I've seen how the sausage is made. There's no, when you've engineered the highs and lows of a piece of music, it's hard to fall for them yourself. But, it's funny, like, I guess from an outside perspective, for someone who doesn't make music, you'd think that you would just make the music that you wanted to hear, but we're kind of just like indebted to like our hearts and our brains. Like this, you can't, it's not, I don't have a lot of say over the music that I make and if it's cool, because I'm just trying to translate like what is going on in my brain, so it's sort of like, if it's cool, that's good. Like if it's super weird, it was just super weird in there and I had no choice. So it's a strange, it's a really strange kind of process. But no, I think that I'd probably be a fan of mine, or I'd probably be freaked out by how on the nose it was, right? Because you'd be like,
Yeah.
It's a bit strange that person knows exactly how I'm feeling. It would probably be too weird for me to listen to.
Bit surreal.
Yeah.
I have a couple of games that I would love to play with you.
Let's do it.
Shall we do, first one is in one word. All
Okay.
right, so I'll ask a bunch of questions and
Okay.
you answer in one word.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah.
If not music, what would you be doing for a living?
Perfume,
Perfume?
I think.
What, selling perfume, making perfume?
Creating scents. I'm obsessed with perfume. I
Yeah.
weirdly think I would be super good at it.
Have you done it before? Have you tried?
I have not done it, but I'm like a real perfume nut. Like I'm a real nerd with it, and I have like a big collection.
Okay.
And yeah.
All right,
But I'm a
I'll
pop
come and
star,
smell
so-
you after.
Yeah.
If not New Zealand / America, where would you be living? Which country?
The UK.
The UK?
Yeah.
All right, we're playing safe.
I'm trying to stick with one word.
Oh yeah, yeah.
UK.
I think we'll allow you.
Okay.
You're gonna be fine.
Uh-huh.
If not Lorde, what would your stage performance name be?
I have no
Pass.
idea.
It's
yeah,
too
pass.
much a part of
I
you.
don't know.
Who's the hottest guy on earth? You can have two.
Wow, the hottest guy on earth. I think Brad Pitt. He's amazing. And
Really?
also,
Have you met Brad Pitt?
no, too much. You can't meet Brad Pitt. It's too much. It's like too much to process, I think. Who else is the hottest guy on earth? It's such a funny question. The hottest guy on earth.
Well, yeah.
Who
guess
was
you
I
can have
thinking
two.
about the other day that was like a magic? I don't know. That's a hard question. I'm happy to stick with a
Stick
classic.
with Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt.
Fair enough. What is your favourite baby name?
Oh, wow, my friend just had a baby and his name is Oscar Robin. His middle name is Robin, which I think is the cutest name for a boy. So I think Robin is really cute.
Do you want kids yourself?
Deeply.
Yeah?
Yeah, big time.
How many?
I have no idea. I mean, I come from a big family, so I don't know. I don't know how many.
This is not something that's in your near future plans, though, right?
I don't think so. I think I've got a bit more work to do. Yeah.
If you were, and we kind of touched on this before, but if you were at university, what would you be studying?
Shit, I don't know. I don't know. That's a really good question. I mean, I come from like an English background, so I feel like it would probably be, English, classic, somewhere in there. But maybe I should just mix it up and say biology or something.
Throw
Just
it in
really eat shit in biology, just to be the worst. I wouldn't get into biology. They'd kick me out. They'd be
Yeah.
like, you have no natural ability.
there. I think somehow they would let you in. So you're only 20 years old, which is still quite young. Is there anything that you remember from your childhood, from being, say, between the ages of being born and 5 years old, where you think that put you in good stead for where you are today? Like, did you read as a child, or did your parents play you music as a child, that kind of thing?
Totally. I mean, all of that. Is my necklace hitting my? You sure? I was a big reader at that age, and also being sung to a lot, which I think is super formative. If you do end up being a musician, every musician that I talk to has a similar story of being played a lot of music or being sung to a lot. And I don't know, I guess I was, I don't know, I was like a really shy kid, and I remember just spending all my time by myself, just with such a like rich kind of inner world, you know. I remember everything about that time and how wonderful it was and how visual it was, and you know, seeing things for the first time, smelling things for the first time. All of that, I think, you know, helps inform the curiosity that you know, comes with being a songwriter and wanting to kind of build, you know, a fabric of a world within the work. So. Yeah.
Cool. I think we probably just have to wrap up, but I have a gift for you.
Oh, what's
which is a
going on here?
second-hand CD.
Oh my goodness.
Which I got from Real Groovy, and I'm giving this to you because I spoke to Alice Cooper this week, and he said he's a fan of yours.
Oh my goodness.
And I said, do you want to pass on a message to Lorde? And he said she needs to listen to Laura Nero.
Wow.
Do you, and this album in particular, her second album.
Thank you so much.
So he said because you're a singer-songwriter and he's a big fan of your work that you
That
need
is
to listen
so
to Laura Nero.
cool.
I think it's from 1968.
Wow.
Yeah, I couldn't find the
thank
vinyl,
you.
but
Oh, no, yes, 1968. Holy moly. Well, thanks,
So there you
Alice
go.
Cooper. That's very kind of you.
thank you very much for talking to me.
Sick. Thank you.
I've
Oh my
loved it.
goodness, I'm excited. Just
Yeah.
shy of 21.
Do you have a CD player?
Laura and I wrote, I don't, but I think I have a CD slot in my laptop. I got one of the old ones.
Oh, right.
Still got a CD slot, so
There you go.
we'll work it out.